come on in, come on in, come on in. Click on and stay on, and click on if you can with your boy for a little bit. Y'all know how I get. Sometimes I get streaky where I got to come on here even when my body wants to do something different. I have to click on. Even when I don't know what to say, I'm always compelled to click on sometimes. It's seasonal. I make no mistakes about it, and I make no qualms about it. Let me tell you, let me say this for the people that like to lurk around on my page and then pop out one day and say something crazy in the comments. Listen, let me tell you something. I block way more than I ever comment. I wish you could see the block list on this page. It's long as train smoke, I promise you. So if I ain't your brand, a particular human being, how I do this thing, go on. This is a very particular group. I'm a very particular messenger. This is a very particular shop. I'm not above rebuke. But leave me alone. All right, shout out Lyric Law. Shout out Van. Shout out Justin Ellis. Closey. What's up, Closey? Chanel Titus. Howdy Hey Radio. Over 4,000 blocked accounts. Okay, listen. So what brought me in here today? I'm gonna tell this story first. It's quick. My wife is she got a green thumb, meaning she pretty good at growing stuff. What's up, Liz? I might have said this before. And when she get really in her growing stuff bag, she can have 10, 20, 30 plants going at the same time, and they all going good. And one time, not too long ago, I don't know if anybody knows this, but I stream out of my garage. She gave me a plant to put in my garage. It's one of those almost like a cactus type plant, you know. And me not thinking nothing about it, just in moving, because I have to change setups multiple times, I think I just put the plant over to the side. And I forgot about it. And so the other day, I don't know if it was last night or today, she came in here and she was doing something and she pulled the plant out. And it's growing all the way to the side. It's hanging off. It's dry. It's dead, almost looking, but it's still alive. And she brought it and she said, I made this plant at the same time I made these plants. And look at the difference. Hers all growing straight up and striving. This one been in the garage. It's growing. It's growing. But it's growing all curled up and turned over and balled up and dried out. And God said in that moment, he said, don't forget the seeds that you already have in the ground. See, what happened for a lot of people, what's up, Aunt Stewart, is some people came up against you at a time where they couldn't see all the good seeds that you had already sown. All the times you tried to do right by people. All the times you could have took an edge and you didn't take an edge. All the times you tried to seek what you felt like God was saying. All the time you tried to be a helper. All the time you tried to be a friend to the friendless. All the times that you gave out mentorship and you gave out your kindness. All the times when you did these things, unknowingly, you was putting seeds in the ground. And And what we fail to realize is seeds inevitably grow in some cases, even when we're not looking at them. Even when we're not being a horticulturalist and we're over there spraying it with fertilizer. Sometimes the seed that's in the ground didn't need you to pay attention to grow. And I keep hearing that reoccurring theme all the way through this week is we're expecting to do something to the seed. We're expecting that if we do this, then the seed will just pop out. And seeds don't work like that. Seeds work on seasons and conditions. Sometimes the condition have to be perfect. However, if you understand that that seed is in the ground, that seed will grow. And when people saw you, they didn't realize they were looking at a field. See, some people saw you and they saw you in a place and they saw you as if you were in a desolate place. When they saw you as if you were in a place of lack, not having enough. They saw you, and some of you saw yourself that way. But when they looked across that field, they say, we could easily take advantage of this. There's no crops here. But over time, some of you guys, the seeds that you sowed, the crop didn't pop up until the battle. The harvest didn't pop up until you got into the fight. And once you got into the fight, then the harvest said, okay, you remember that seed that you sowed of patience? You remember that seed that you sowed when nobody was paying attention, when you were meditating? You remember that seed that you sowed when nobody was watching, when you were writing in your journal and trying to organize and plan? Well, now that the storm is here, the fruit is here. Because instead of being panicked in the storm, you can rely on the seed of organization that you built during the sowing season. And God is asking for us not to let the panic of a season or the panic of a imaginary famine be an indicator that the seeds have not been sown. And it was something my pastor used to say all the time. Well, he would say this all the time, and it just stuck with me. He would say, seed time, harvest. True, you don't always get tired as you're planting. You don't always get tired as you're working. Sometimes you get tired when you're weary in the well-doing, in the time space, in the dash mark between the beginning and the end. That's where they say, I believe, but help my unbelief. I believe that there will be a harvest, but help my unbelief during my sowing season. Because here's the thing, I can imagine, I'm not a farmer. But I can imagine if I got a bunch of seeds in the ground and I know that harvest is coming up, even if I'm on my last leg, I kind of walk with a different strut. When I go to the local farmer bars and I go to the local hangouts, when they saying, what got Jimbo looking all happy today? What got Jimbo? I know what I put in the ground this season. So yeah, he slay me, yet will I trust him. I know what I put in the ground this season. So it's just a matter of time. So I want us to have a farmer's mind. I want us to have a planter's mind this week and as we continue out through the quarter. The farmer's mind says it's inevitable. I got a different strut. Like, how y'all guys doing today? How y'all guys doing today? I can't wait till my corn come in. How y'all got? I can't wait till the beans come in. I know what I did. Because you gotta imagine. Let's say I'm a farmer. I've been farming for a while, and one year somebody come to me and say, "Hey, Jim, we're gonna give you another 10 acres over here and another 5 acres over here. Good soil, farmable land." Jim, no. I won't get nothing from that today. But if you give me that, by the time me and the boys get out there and we till that land and we lay our row of corn and we lay our row of beans and we give it some time, we'll pay you back that with some. And this morning, we're just being asked to remember the dash. Seed, time, then harvest. There is time. Hold on. One second. There's a difference between Chronos and I think it's Kairos time. Here it is right here. There's a difference between Chronos time and Kairos time. Chronos spelled Chronos. In the Greek, it refers to sequential or a measurable time. Chronos time is like the time that we measure. What do the clock say? Linearly from 8 to 10 to 12 to 1 to 3. That's Chronos. But God, however, and sometimes crops operate in Kairos time, spelled Kairos. Kairos represents qualitative or the opportune time. The right or perfect time to make things happen. And we cannot hold God to a Chronos watch. Because if we hold God to a Chronos watch, we will always be very, very frustrated. Watching the watch, watching the calendar, watching the timeline, expecting a sequential order of events. Expecting that if I do this and I do, see, that's why I keep on getting on people, is because some of y'all think if as soon as I do this, this is going to happen. When we're dealing in the spirit, it doesn't work on a Chronos type of time. It's not measured in past, present, future, seconds. This comes first, this comes next. It's measured in opportune time. This is the time. And when you realize that, this is the revelation this morning. When you realize that God operates in Chronos time, then you realize that the time is always now. It's always now. It's always any day now. It's always this can be happening at the same time as this. Just because this happened don't mean that this is going to collapse. And just because that's the world's time clock. We're getting deep. We're getting deep. Somebody said type the mic. We getting really deep. We getting really teachy. But that's the only way that we're gonna understand. Because if we keep looking at that Chronos clock, it's gonna drive us insane. The only thing that should be on the Chronos time is the actual activities God has called you to do. I don't know what order this is in, but I feel like God is calling me to do this right now, and I got 2 hours to do it. I don't know what order this is, but I know God is calling me to do this right now, and I got a week to get it done. I don't know what order this is. I don't know where it lines up in the order of things. But I got an action in the moment. All right, folks.